guys, my name is Amy Elizabeth, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing some baking, yay! Who says yay? Woo! I'm going to be starting with some brownies. I love brownies, they're really chocolatey, really oozy in the middle, and I'm actually going to be using a BuzzFeed Tasty recipe. The oven is preheating, so let's get started. I have one whisk, one sieve, one cake product, one silicone chocolate melting jug. You don't have to have one of these. You can just use a normal bowl in a microwave, it'll work just as well. A spatula, 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of salt, 170 grams of butter, 225 grams of baking chocolate, 250 grams of caster sugar, 95 grams of plain or all-purpose flour, and 30 grams of cocoa powder. So to start with on this recipe, what you need to take your chocolate. Now what I've done is I've split this bar into half, and then I've just got a couple of cubes here so that I can tell exactly what half is, and then I'm going to chop it all up. So what you want for chopping up chocolate is a nice sharp knife, and you just want to sort of hold one end of the knife and roll it round underneath your palm so that it cuts it into, it doesn't have to be even cuts, it just needs to be cut up into sort of chunks, little strips, whatever you fancy. Because half of this is going to be going into the brownie mix, so it's going to be melted, and the other half is going to be chunked up to go into the brownies after they've been mixed. So if you want to do one half a bit thicker, you can do, and if you want to do one half a bit smaller so that it melts easier, that's absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take my little silicone melting jug, and I'm going to put half of the chocolate in there, which I'm going to be melting to go in the brownies. I'm not going to melt that just yet because we have a couple of steps we need to do first. So now that I've put half the chocolate in my melting jug, I'm just going to put the other half into a bowl and save that for later, because that's the half we're going to be putting into the brownie mix after it's all been mixed together. So the first thing I'm going to do is melt my butter. So I'm just going to give it 30 seconds in the microwave, and then we'll see how it goes. So let's take our mixing bowl, and we're going to pour in the melted butter. Oh, look at that. And then we're going to sieve this in, just so that you get all the lumps out, because you don't want lumpy sugar, because if you have any lumps in any of your mixture, then when they bake, there will just be solid lumps of whatever you haven't sieved. So I'm just going to sieve the sugar in just quickly to make sure that we get all the lumps out. And then what you want to do is you just want to give that a whisk so that the sugar and the butter is incorporated together. And then after you've given that a quick whisk, you want to put in the 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, the salt, and the 2 eggs. So I'm just going to crack these on the side of the bowl. Be careful not to get any shell in there, because you're putting it directly into the mixture. If you get any shell in there, it'll be really difficult to get it out again. I'm going to put those just in there like that. And then we're going to give this a good whisk. You can do this with an electric whisk if you want. Keep whisking the mixture until it's light and fluffy. While you're mixing it, melt the chocolate in the microwave, because that is going to be the next step that we need to do. So I'm going to give that 30 seconds. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour in all my melted chocolate, and because it's in a nice silicone jug, it comes out really, really smoothly. Doesn't get stuck to the sides too much. Just going to use a teaspoon to scrape out everything that's in there. One thing you do want to be careful of when you're whisking your melted chocolate is make sure the chocolate is not too hot after you've melted it, because otherwise the eggs will cook and then you will have scrambled egg brownies, which you definitely do not want to do. Well, I think this mixture looks okay, so we're going to go on to the next step. Just sift in the flour and the cocoa powder. Now again, the reason you want to sift these in and not just put them straight in is because if you don't sift them, you will end up with lumps of solid flour and cocoa powder in your baked brownies. And when you bite into brownies, you don't really want to be biting out into chunks of flour and cocoa powder, because it's not fun. So just make sure you give those a proper sieve. And if you've got any lumps in the bottom, just use your spatula to push them through, just to get every last bit of the mixture. And then, once that's all done, what you want to do is you want to take your spatula, and instead of whisking this, we just want to fold it. Now, the way I like to fold it is just go around the edge and pull it back into the middle. You can also do like a figure of 8 fold like that, but I tend to just do like a nice fold through the middle. And you just want to get that, all of that incorporated So you just want to do that so it's a thick, liquidy mixture. Now it will take a few minutes to mix, so just keep folding, just like that. Now you will need to scrape it all off from the bottom of the bowl, because as you can see, bits of cocoa powder and flour still get stuck to the bowl, so just make sure you've incorporated that all nicely in there like that. There we go, look at that, nice folded brownies. Now once it's all incorporated, stop mixing, because you don't want to overwork it, and then you just want to plonk in all your chunks of chocolate that you cut up earlier that you didn't melt, and you just want to fold those in very quickly to sort of mix that into the middle. And now we can start placing these in our baking tray. So what I've got here is a nice square cake tin, and then I've just got some pre-cut, pre-sized greaseproof or parchment paper. And I'm just gonna slip that into the baking tray so that it covers the edges. You don't have to worry about it covering the whole tray because it's a non-stick tray. It shouldn't stick to the sides anyway. But just enough in there so that you've got a bit of an overhang at the edge, and then you can lift the brownies out once they're baked. So you won't have to scrape them away from the sides of the bowl. You won't have to reach in and try and scoop them out with anything. They should just pop out nice and cleanly. So then what we're going to do, just pour the mixture neatly into the baking tray like that. In it goes. Just give it a good scrape so you get all the mixture out. Make sure you've got all of the mixture out of the bowl, because you don't want to leave any of that gorgeous brownie mixture behind, although you probably can lick it out of the bowl if you really want to, so not always a bad thing. So we're just going to put that down, scrape the edge of the bowl, leave that for my mum to lick afterwards if she wants, and then we're just going to push the brownies right to the edge of the pan, just so that you get an even distribution, because you don't want more chocolate in one side than you do in the other, because then it will have uneven baking times. And if you have uneven baking times, you're not gonna, some parts of it will be gooey and some parts of it won't be, and it'll all just come out as a big sort of solid lump, and we don't really want that. Now what will happen is the chunks of chocolate that are inside the brownies they won't melt completely, but when you've baked the brownies and cut them, you should be able to have nice gooey chocolatey chunks on the inside, which would be lovely. Just going to scrape all the chocolate off the spatula using my finger, because then I get to lick my finger afterwards. Okay, so, and the last thing you want to do is just give it a bit of a quick shake, just to make sure that the whole brownie mixture is even and you don't have any big lumps on top, and then that is ready to go in the oven. Now you want to bake this for about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on how gooey you like your brownies. If you like them gooier, do them for less time. If you don't like them quite as gooey, do them for more time. And then you will also want to use if you don't have a cake skewer like I do, you can use a barbecue skewer or a cocktail stick or something, just to prod the middle of the brownies once they're cooked, and then when they are cooked, the skewer or the cocktail stick should come out clean. Now bear in mind, the residual heat from these will also keep cooking them after you've taken them out the oven, so you don't want to bake them for too long. Don't go much longer than 25 minutes at most, because otherwise you will end up with really crispy brownies. So we're going to get those in the oven, and we'll see you then. They look quite wobbly, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check if they're baked. Yeah, you see, so you see that on there? I don't know if you can see that. There's quite a lot of chocolate still on that. So I'm going to stick them in for another 5 minutes probably, just to make sure that they are definitely cooked. They seem better now. They seem a lot less wobbly. The top layer of them isn't quite as risen and bubbly. They seem a lot firmer, so I'm just going to choose a different point, stick my skewer in. And just once more, yeah, and the skewer has come out clean. That means they are baked. Look at those, how wonderful are these. Just going to leave those to cool on that cooling rack, because if you try and take them off the baking paper too early, as you can see, it will sort of stick to the edge. One other thing you can do, if you still have some chocolate left over, which I do here, then you can use your knife to chop some extra bits up, and then just sprinkle them over the top while the mixture is still hot, just so that it sort of melts some chunks into the top of it, and it gives you that little bit extra gooiness that you would want from these brownies. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprinkle that over the top. Not too much, because we don't want too much, but I'm just going to slightly push it down into the brownies, and then hopefully the residual heat from the brownies will just melt them into the tops so that you get some nice big chocolatey chunks on top of your nice gooey brownies. You just go all the way along like that with the knife, just to make sure that they are released underneath. Look at how well that chocolate has melted on top. Cut it into squares now. Now that all the chocolate on top has melted, just cut some nice even squares across the top. They don't have to be perfectly even shaped because I'm sure nobody will be measuring them when you give them the brownies, although that would be the sort of thing that I would do. And then just flip the baking paper around and then just go the other way, just right across there. So then, nice even cuts. Oh, there you go, they're starting to release themselves now, that's good. Oh, and they're still really warm and gooey. Last one across there. Look at that. And you have little individual warm squared brownies. Look at those beautiful gooey, beautifully cooked brownies. And there you go. So I'm just going to leave those to cool down now that I've cut them. I might just take this tiny little corner piece and just try it because no one's going to miss a corner piece, are they? All that melted chocolate on top. Okay, they turned out perfect. So there we go guys, that was Tasty's recipe from BuzzFeed for gooey fudge brownies. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video and I really hope you give these a go yourself. It was really, really fun and really easy to do. Thank you guys for watching and I will see you next time. Bye!